Whether you consider yourself a travel novice or a pro, booking tips has never been so easy. Well, and booking trips. You don't book tips, you book trips. Well, unfortunately, there are still some common blunders that travelers make, and that can really put a damper on some of your vacation plans, especially when you find out at the last minute, I did that? Welcome, this is Michelle Donati, and she is here from AAA, and she's here to share some of the top 5 mistakes that travelers make when booking their trips.
That's right. So with these tips in hand, you can avoid making some of these mistakes that can end up costing you money and even ruining your trip. So the first mistake that we find travelers making is that they don't consider peak periods.
Okay.
So during peak periods, you're going to see an increased demand and then pay more for your destination. So, you can get a better deal going the weekend before or after Labor Day rather than Labor Day weekend itself. So people will just consider, what's convenient versus when they can get the better deal.
Now, are peak periods, is that sort of like high season, low season? It could be months at a time, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
And another kind of flip side to this is that people will go after a bargain deal in off-peak season but not consider the risks. You can get a great deal in the Caribbean during hurricane season.
Yeah, of course.
But you may not want to go during hurricane season, so it's a risk. You have to decide, are you willing to take that risk or not?
Right.
So the second mistake is not considering schedule. So booking too early and too late. A good rule of thumb, book a minimum 21 days in advance, about 4 to 6 weeks before your trip. And then if you're booking a multi-leg trip, you want to consider connections. You don't want to book a connection too tight. A lot of times people will book like a 30-minute layover.
And you are either sprinting or you miss your flight.
Right. And so what happens is once there's a delayed flight, that causes a ripple effect through the rest of the day. So you want to make sure book as early as you can, but then also if you do have a multi-leg trip, allow enough time to make your connection.
Right. Some people just don't want to sit around at the airport and wait, but I would rather sit around and wait than miss it.
Right. For myself, I always will usually do like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that's just my own comfort level.
Right.
So as a traveler, it's something you really have to decide. The next thing is not bundling. So a lot of people will book their air, then their hotel, then their rental car, rather than realizing the deeper discounts available in a bundle. So just some examples of discounts I've seen. Free meals at a resort, $20 to $30 a day per person you can save. Free rental cars, and then also reduced companion airfare. So those are some
So
discounts.
you're saying do bundle or don't bundle?
Do bundle.
Do bundle, okay.
Do bundle. Well, do a price comparison. That's always a good idea, but oftentimes you
The
can't
package
get those.
deals are better.
Right, because they can throw in the free rental car. The next thing is is travelers don't consider fees. So a lot of things that were free are not now. So make sure you realize that the cost that you see is not always the actual cost of your trip. So make sure you're asking questions. What fees will I face? This is really where a travel agent can come in handy because they can help you budget for that.
Right.
You can also figure out how you can kind of mitigate some of those fees. And then the last mistake that travelers make is kind of as a result of the fees, people opt out of making optional add-ons to their trip, like travel insurance. And travel insurance typically costs 4 to 8% of a trip cost, but it can really save you in the case of an illness or some type of interruption. Just note that all travel insurance is not created equal, so you want to do things like check the cancellation, trip interruption policies, know what's covered and know what's not.
Right.
AAA, for example, we have a policy that's cancel for any reason. So it's a great policy. It probably costs a little bit more, if you offer that versus another policy, but it's a great one to have because you can cancel for absolutely any reason, no questions asked.
Right, I love that. Now, what's your deal of the week? Because you always have such fun ones.
Deal of the week is Disney Days of Summer. So for this, you're going to book a 3-day trip to Disney with the park hopper passes.
Disneyland is Disney
Disneyland.
World? Okay, Disneyland.
You're going to get 2 days for free. So you end up getting 5 days at a Disneyland resort hotel. You get 5 days of park hopper passes. You're going to get some extras like free parking and also a discount guide while you're there. $76 per person. It's based on quad occupancy. So for a family of 4 for those 5 days, you're looking at about $1,500 for 5 days of Disney. That's not a bad price at all.
Exactly. And you can, is that flying there, driving there, or just you get there however you want?
That's land only.
Okay.
And then another thing, if you're feeling lucky, we have a sweepstakes going on our website right now. Go answer some Disney trivia and enter to win a free trip to Disneyland.
You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. Some great advice. I know I need to do that trip insurance. All right, well, you can read all of these tips on SonoraLiving.com. Look for them in the travel section.